Welcome, fight fans, to another edition of Double Jab with Q. I'm your host, as always, Rich Quinones. This episode presented by the Caribe Royale Orlando Hotel and Box Lab Promotions. Friday, May 31st, happening at the Convention Center at the Caribe Royale Hotel. Box Lab Promotions presents a Night of Champions. It's going to be a stack card, nonstop action. Plus, the Barrientos twins, Angel and Chavez, are back in action, led by legendary trainer Bob Santos. You can catch the fight exclusively on DAZN if you live in the Orlando area. Visit Ticketmaster.com and click the link in my show notes right now for tickets. As always, follow online myself on social at RichQ on Q. So we have the aforementioned Undefeated Kevin Brown, his translator Fernando Diaz, kind enough to join us. And gentlemen, I appreciate a couple moments, and Kevin, appreciate a couple moments of your time, my friend. How are you?
Bien. Very good. Good.
So listen, it's amazing when you think about this, right? Because now we got the battle of Cuban fighters going on. So I'm sure there's got to be some pride and some bragging rights within that. But how about the fact for you to start your career televised undercard, and it's an 8-rounder? I mean, that kind of tells me something about what your team and what the boxing world thinks of you going forward. Can you talk a little bit about your pro debut first?
No, me siento bien, gracias a Dios, ya que es en mi casa. Todas las 4 peleas que tengo las he hecho ahí en la ciudad de Orlando. Y al ser con otro cubano, es una pelea más para yo sacar lo mejor de mí. He said he's very comfortable there. He loves it there. He's had his 4 fights there. He's very excited to go up against another Cuban. He's sure it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, I just think it, like I said, when you look at his career thus far, 4-0, 3 knockouts, it kind of just speaks to the level of competition and how they view him going forward. I'm just curious, amateur background. Can you talk a little bit about amateur background and how also he got started in the sport of boxing?
Sí, empecé una temprana edad de 9 años, donde transité por las mejores escuelas de alto rendimiento en Cuba, equipo nacional juvenil, equipo nacional de mayores, y donde participé en eventos muy importantes. Yeah, he started about 9 years old in Cuba, and he went through the highest levels of training there. He went through the best schools. He won nationals as a junior, as an elite, and he's been that's all he basically did his whole life.
Has it been different? Challenging the transition, right? Obviously being born in Cuba and now over into the States. I mean, I would assume boxing probably is a wonderful distraction for him. And obviously it's his passion, but how about that transition coming, from Cuba and now into the States?
Bueno, en Cuba tuve la posibilidad de boxear semi-profesional. Era la liga que se peleaba 5 asaltos, y entonces más o menos uno tenía una expectativa. Yeah. Pero ya cuando uno viene para acá, aquí fue donde realmente uno aprendió que lo que era. He said out in Cuba he had an opportunity to be on an elite team where it was like pros, because they didn't wear headgear and stuff, so he got a little taste of it. He said it wasn't until he got to the States that he really found out what it's all about.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a different animal. When you look at some of the you talk about, the Rigadaus, the Ugas, the Laras, the Gamboa. I mean, who are some of these? And I can see him smiling. Who are some of these fighters that maybe he emulates himself, or maybe grew up and maybe watched early on in his career?
Bueno, no tuve la posibilidad de estar con ellos en el equipo nacional, de conseguir con ellos, porque son mucho mayores que yo. Pero sí, siempre lo seguí desde muchacho, y el boxeador que más hice énfasis como el boxeo, que era más o menos parecido al mío, fue el de Irlanda y Lara. He said he really didn't have a chance to train with those guys or even really hang out or meet them because they're much older than him, so he was young. But he said the one that he really admires and looks up to because of his style of boxing is Irlanda y Lara.
That's not bad comparison, right? To kind of look up to that type of fighter. Tough, moves around well, has a little pop behind the punches, works behind the jab. To me, I was always fascinated with the Cuban style, right? Because and maybe he can speak a little bit to this. You're going to let your hands go. You're going to take some, but you're also going to absorb some blows. But, you also have to be very smart and very tactical in your approach in the ring.
Sí, yo estoy preparado mentalmente desde aquí el gimnasio, que es donde se ganan todas las batallas. he hecho un excelente campamento haciendo sparring con muchos muchachos de calidad aquí y gracias al equipo entrenador, al maestro Ismael Sala, me siento en óptimas condiciones deportivas con grande confianza.
He says he knows it's going to be a good fight. He says he's mentally ready, physically ready. He's had a great camp. He's here with Ismael Salas, the best. So he feels really good.
Yeah, he's obviously comfortable with the management team, and obviously Ismail going forward. You know, how important is it for you to have the right team in place to help your career grow and flourish?
Sí, claro, es como por ser el buen caballo que necesita un buen Entonces, eso es lo que te va guiando al paso de tu carrera y más en este boxeo profesional, que es un deporte bien duro, donde se están arriesgando la vida las personas.
He says he feels like a racing horse. So all he needs is a great team around him and a great jockey to take him down the line. He says he feels good and he's very happy.
Double Jab with Q. I'm your host, Rich Quinones. And again, this episode presented by the Caribe Royale Orlando Hotel Box Lot Promotions, Friday, May 31st at the Convention Center at the Caribe Royale Hotel. Box Lot Promotions present a night of champions. It's a stacked card, a lot of action. We know it's going to be an entertaining affair. Joining us, undefeated Kevin Brown. He will be in action. WBA Super Lightweight titles up for grabs. He'll battle Idalberto Umara. Also, the Barrientos twins, Angel and Chavez, are back in action, led by legendary trainer Bob Santos. You can catch the fight exclusively on DAZN if you live in Orlando area. Visit Ticketmaster.com. Click the link in our show notes right now for tickets. And speaking to the aforementioned Kevin Brown, his translator, Fernando Diaz, kind enough to join us as well. What is the most appealing thing to you about the sport of boxing? Where does this love and passion for the sport come from?
Bueno, mi madre que está en el cielo y mi padre que está aquí fueron deportistas de alto rendimiento, o sea, es una cosa que llevo en la sangre. El gimnasio de boxeo queda al lado de mi casa en Cuba y era una cosa muy difícil de poder hacer, ya que escuchaba los gritos de cada día de los que entrenaban atrás, y eso fue lo que me fue apasionando.
He said his mom, God rest in peace, his dad that's still around, they were high-level athletes. So he always had that athleticism in his blood. A boxing gym right next door in the backyard, he said it's impossible not to hear the screams and the grunts of that gym. So that's where that all came from.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was he raised primarily by grandparents?
Dice que él le dijeron que usted se fue criado por sus abuelos.
Sí.
Yes.
Yeah. Tough when you lose a parent early on in your life and you have to grow up very fast. Yes.
Tiene que crecer bien rápido. Yeah, he said that's right.
Yeah. Does that give you extra, you know, we always hear fighters, boxers always fight with purpose. Some of them want to fight for a memory of a loved one or a father or a mother or a sibling, or maybe for a friend that, you know, maybe didn't make it out. And maybe they just want to kind of keep their memory alive. Do you fight for your family? You fight for your mother, your father?
No, solo es una pasión que nació dentro de mí, donde también me sirve de inspiración para ayudar a mi familia, crecer yo como persona, como deportista, e inspirar a otras personas.
He says he really have a passion for it. Not so much. He says he uses it more. His drive is more to take care of his family, to better his family, and to be an inspiration to other fighters of what you can do.
I know this division is stacked, and 30 years old is young, but, you know, people will look at it as boxing where, okay, depending upon the amateur record, right, in the background, but I look at it as you got an opportunity. It's a WBA belt. You know, you can move up rankings. Do you put more pressure on yourself, 30 years of age, just 4 fights where maybe you have to pick up the pace a little bit, or you just let things come to you?
No, yo siento que a veces la edad es un número y todo está en cómo uno se pueda sentir. Soy un boxeador que no ha sido muy maltratado y eso me ayuda, ¿sabes? Y como ya saben ya el historial que tengo amateur, eso también me ayuda mucho más lo que he aprendido aquí profesionalmente.
Yeah, he said age is just a number. He said he feels great. He said he knows he's got a little bit of fights, but he has an extended amateur background. So that's
familiarity with his opponent. Has he watched any film on his opponent?
Sí, en Cuba también tuvimos la posibilidad de estar en el equipo nacional juntos, lo que él tuvo a corta edad ahí.
yeah, he's seen him before. He was on the national team before in Cuba.
So the familiarity is good. I mean, basically, you know right away what to expect.
Familiar con los dos. Yeah.
Yeah, claro. The same styles and whatnot. What can we expect from you come May 31st and going forward?
Bueno, el día 31 de mayo invito a todas las personas que vayan para que presencien un buen show, no tanto mío, sino como otros peleadores que van a estar esa noche ahí, y va a ser una noche sensacional.
He said May 31st, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great show. Not only him, there's other great fighters on the card.
Does he want to, you guys want to push anything if on social media, anything like that, where they can follow Kevin? Have at it.
¿Quieres tus patrocinadores, tu Instagram?
Sí, claro, mi nombre en Instagram es Kevin Brown Oficial, el nombre en Facebook es Kevin Downtown Alpha Brown.
Yeah, Kevin Brown Official is his Instagram, and Kevin Downtown Alpha Brown is his Facebook.
That's not a bad nickname. All right, this is the last question. This is very important. This is muy importante. Post-fight meal now, okay? We going plátano, tostones, arepa, post-fight meal to celebrate.
Después de la pelea, lo que se me apetezca.
He said whatever he feels like.
Understood. All right. Listen, gentlemen, I greatly appreciate it. Fernando, thank you so much for translating for the audience. And Kevin, I appreciate taking a couple moments. I know it's early where you guys are on the West Coast, but the best of luck the 31st. Hope to get you back on. And gracias por tu tiempo.
Mucha suerte 31 y ojalá te puedas tener de regreso. Okay. All right.